happened to that department?
Well, the weaving department has been one of the operating departments in the center, but for about a year or two now, it has gradually fizzled out. In fact, now we may say we have -1 department, because that department over time has not received many students, many trainees in that particular sector. What may have occasioned this? Well, we can enumerate some factors, one of which might be the taking over of the textile markets by the Chinese productions, which people seems to be driven more to getting some of these clothes with less attention to the locally made fabrics. However, there are still some people who do give attention to the locally made fabric, because there we produce mainly the Kente. And the Kente that we produce there is done on what is called the broad loom weaving, which is a very technical and, permit me to say, somewhat complicated process to produce. It consumes your time, it consumes your energy. So at the end of it, having invested all this, you find out that at the end of it, you may not be able to get something that is commensurate with the energy and time you have invested in. These are some of the reasons we think are the causes why some students or trainees do not really patronize that department.
So it's not about the school, like the center not being able to provide the equipment because you were not making any returns from the products you make here?
Definitely, it's not about the center not having the equipment, because the equipment are there. Even as I speak to you, though unused, they are there. And again, the equipment and the productions are mainly meant for the training. We don't really make a profit out of it. We do what we do so as for the trainees to get experience, and when they go out, some can be employed in industries that do that, or can set up their own industry to produce that. So the equipments are there, and it's not about the returns or lack of returns.
Okay. So in the past years, like you said, for 2 years now, not even a single student had come to enroll into that department?
Let's say last year there was no students at all. This year, so far, there is none. For the past 3 years and below, we had very few students. Like in the 4-year program, you could have like 5 students in the department. So little by little, it dwindled. The number dwindled, and to the point of not functioning again for now. However, if we have some good intake of students, we can still revive.
What do you term as good intake?
Well, in a department like that, if we have up to 5 students, 10 students, we will be able to. Because it's also frustrating for a teacher to teach 1 student or 2 students a whole year on something. So that is what
you take them to the market, or you have people coming in to buy?
Well, practically, we do not produce for sales.
Okay.
Right? We only use it to train the students. However, if someone is interested, for example, when they do their MBT examination, there are some examiners that come, I like this, can we produce this for me? We do that.
Okay.
Or if we have a particular function in the school and we want to make some stuff for our dignitaries, like this apron or sash, then we can produce it ourselves. And given the fact that you will have to put in a good amount of energy and time, most of the students, after learning for 4 years, they go out, they will not be able to, or they are not really able, unless they are employed, But to be able to produce on their own and make a living out of it will take a lot of time. So that is why I think some of them do not patronize the department. And the appeal I can make is that in St. Theresa, we still have the weaving department that trains students on the Vocational weaving, which is still very much good and technically well. Therefore, if we have candidates or trainees to come into the department, we are able to train how to use. So anyone out there that feels that he has interest in doing weaving, in the Vocational weaving, not the traditional, which is very technical, can always come to St. Teresa. We are here.